Before we get started, if I sound a little stuffy or if I sound a little off, then I'm still getting over this summer cold. So if I sound a little hoarse or a little stuffy, then that's why. But today we will talk about titles. Titles. We're going to talk about the prefixes that precede your name or that comes after your name. These are the titles that we will call ourselves, titles that others call us, titles that we like to get recognized by. So this is May 2026. And at this time, we do have a big debacle going on the internet with titles. So that's what we're going to talk about, and that's kind of the that debacle is the basis of this message. So when it comes to titles, the thing that I want everyone to realize, titles, there's two sides of the coin with everything pretty much. But when it comes to titles, they are very important. They are recognized. They are respected. They are renowned. People are sought after because of certain titles. People are hired because of certain titles. People are paid more because of certain titles. Now, titles meaning that you have been through some type of training, some type of schooling. You have titles as far as degrees. You have titles as far as like a specialized training that you have gone through. You have titles within titles, meaning like even within a certain degree, you can specialize even more and get another title. You can continue on getting titles. There's a title within a title, and probably within a title of that is another title. So many people specialize in many different things. Okay. You even have, pastors, you do have to go under training to be a pastor, and you have seminary schools and things of that nature. So you have titles in every sector of life. And what that title means is that you have undergone the specialized training to work under that title. And you have someone, meaning like an organization, that's willing to back you up, saying that they vouch for you with getting that title. Now, the flip side of that coin is that everyone, just because you have a title, that's not the end all be all. Meaning you have some people that have the title of a pastor, but they may not operate in that role the best. You have some people that are a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a counselor or a therapist, but they may not operate in that role the best. You have some people where they have their own practices, but that doesn't mean that they're the best person in that role, that they're the best person in that field, that doesn't even mean that they're trustworthy. The fact is that a title is it is very important, but at the end of the day, it is just a piece of paper. You have a marriage license, and a marriage license, that's a title, you know, that is very important, but at the end of the day, just because two people are married, that doesn't mean that they're going to be faithful. So you have, just because you see a title, that's not the end all be all, because you have people that operate under a title, but they don't hold up the standards. Now, on the flip side of that coin is that you also have some people that doesn't operate under specific titles, and they may be more qualified than others, than someone with the title. So there's no cookie cutter, you know, um there's no cookie cutter respect on, it shouldn't be at least a cookie cutter respect. Just because someone have a title, then they automatically are respected as though they know everything just because they have that title. Some people have a title, but they don't honor the title, to be honest with you. And that's hard for me to say that, but some people, they don't honor the titles that they have, because you have some people just like to, they want the clout from the title. They want the clout that title brings. You said you have some people that are professional students, which mean that they go to school just to go to school. They're not really trying to do any work. They go to school just to go to school, just to get titles, but they really are not trying to do any work. And most times that's why a lot of people get titles, because if we're being honest, those with the titles, they get paid more and they do less work. So hey, so why not? But that doesn't mean that they know more than someone that does not have a title. Sometimes the ones with the title, they have become so complacent in doing less that they forget, or maybe they never learned or practiced in the groundwork, in the basics. So, but what I'm saying is that although we do have respect for titles, but don't get, you still have to judge case by case. You still have to judge case by case. The same way when someone doesn't have a title, you still have to judge case by case. Meaning, it's more a a therapist or a psychologist will be, or even a counselor. That title is more common. That title is backed by, um, an organization saying that they have went through a rigorous, rigorous testing and boards and things of that nature in order to obtain that title. So they are more respected than a life coach. Now, you want to judge it case by case, because just because one title may outweigh the other, or one title is more renowned than the other, that doesn't mean that one person knows more than the other. So that's the thing that I really want to talk about is with therapists and life coaches. We we respect them both for the titles that they hold. Me personally, I'm a life coach. I am not a therapist. I will never try to diagnose anyone with anything, but I am a life coach. So, with that being said, judge it case by case. Don't expect your life coach to be a therapist, and don't expect a therapist to be the end all be all. Judge it case by case, not just because they hold that title. Everyone that you run into may not know what you need. They may not be able to help you. So that's basically what it is really who is the best fit for you. Although someone may hold a title, but is that individual a good fit for you? You can give anyone the title of husband or wife, but is that individual a good fit for you? You can go to many doctors that you can find on Google, but is that doctor the right fit for you? You can go to many hairstylists, but is that hairstylist a good fit for you? You can go to many makeup artists, but is that makeup artist a good fit for you? So you can go to anyone, any individual with whatever title it is that you are seeking. But the thing is that we want to figure out is that person a good fit for you? That individual, regardless of the title, regardless of the profession or the lane of work that we are looking for, the thing that to keep in mind is what you are looking for is a good fit. You're looking to see, is this person able to understand the way that I explain? Do I understand the way that they explain? Do I feel better? Do I feel like we are working towards something? Is my questions getting answered? Do I feel that we are moving in the right direction? Am I seeing results? That's what you want to see. You don't just go by a title, and just because someone has a title, then you put all your trust in them. Just because they have a title, then you automatically, just know that their word is bond. So we have to stop getting fooled by titles, because as I said, you can have a doctor. They did go through an enormous amount of schooling. That's not taking away what they had to go through to get their title, to get their degrees, to get their specialization. That's not taking away anything, but are you able to apply what you have learned in my situation? You may have been able to help out someone else in another case, but with my case, are you the best fit for me? So that's the thing that we need to keep in mind when we are searching for help, when we're searching for assistance, when we are searching for anyone with any type of title, and this is any type, I literally mean any type, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a hairstylist, whether it's a makeup artist, whether it's a pastor, whether it's a counselor, if it's a singer, if it's a, whatever title that it is that someone has, you can't always judge a book by its cover. And judging a book by its cover in this instance is judging someone by their title. Whether they have a title and we just automatically think that they must know just because they have a title, versus if they don't have a title, so they must not know anything. Sometimes the opposite is true. Sometimes the contrary is true. And that's the thing that we will come to learn. If you keep living life, then you will learn that everything that you see is not always accurate. Everything that you see is not always truth. Everything that you see is not always honest. The downside of the internet is that we are sold illusions all the time. We are being trained to master illusions. We are being trained to put forth a fake smile. We are being trained to mask pain. We are being trained to, we have makeup that can hide pretty much anything. So we are being trained with the internet, with social media, which it can work for us. It can be a beautiful thing. But if you notice nowadays, we are literally being trained to believe lies. We are being trained to believe everything that we see and to block out how it makes us feel. Although in real life that Susie and her husband really don't even like each other. Like they don't even sleep in the same room. But yet on social media, they're couple goals. In real life that Miss Johnson is a mean-spirited individual. But yet on the internet, you see Miss Johnson at every prayer meeting, and quoting scriptures and this, that, and the third. But we know in real life that she's a mean-spirited individual. So which would you believe? Would you believe that just because she's posting all of this and, getting all the likes and the hearts and the comments and this, that, and the third, will we believe that that has to be accurate because everyone else is co-signing her? No one is calling her out. So she must really be that. Although what I have actually witnessed in real life is that she's a mean-spirited individual. But the social media tell me something different. Facebook says something different. The people on Facebook says something different. So which would you believe? Will you believe what reality tells you, or will you believe what the illusion is telling you? So a title is a title. A title, respect it for what it is. Respect it for that person had went through training and they know XYZ. Respect that, true. But is that person, is that individual in the knowledge that they have, is it a good fit for me in what I am looking for? So don't diminish anyone's title. Titles are important, but don't be surprised if a title is not enough. Because titles are not always enough. You have many doctors that don't know a lot. You have many husbands and wives that still are not faithful. You have many pastors that are still not what they say they are. You have many people that will try to point the finger at other people, but their front door is not clear itself. So just because someone has a title, just because, someone says A, B, C, or D, that doesn't always mean that it's true. That doesn't always mean that it's a good fit for you. That doesn't always mean that they're the best person for the job. Judge it case by case. So in the internet right now, the debacle that we have going on is that someone has a title, but that the debate is whether or not if that title is accurate. Now, the downside to this is that what this person, the title that this person is calling themselves, comes with a lot of respect. So this person has been given a lot of respect, whereas if they did not have that title, then they probably wouldn't have as much respect as they have. So, which means that they have lied. If that's the case, then they have lied. So that should be treated as a lie, not as, just a slap on the wrist and where you just said, why I said this and I said that. That's not something, that's not a fly by night. That's a whole lie. And that holds a lot of weight. That holds a lot of weight. So, and if you are expected to be seen or treated as someone trustworthy with a lot of respect, respect and trustworthiness comes with truth. So if we can't even, if you're not honest with something as simple as a title, then should you be respected? Should you be trusted with personal, private information? That's something to think about. So until next time, stay vigilant and let's pay closer attention to the ones that we trust.